Interesting game to talk about. Seattle's obviously not a very good offensive team at home, but they have been better offensively on the road over several years, and that's the case once again this season. They're averaging 4.2 on the road, barely over 3.5 at home. They're batting almost 15 to 20 points higher in the batting average. So something I want to point out because they are a better offensive team, but the Yankees are still the better team in this game, the better bullpen, better starting pitcher. And I think it's a very focused spot for New York as well. Seattle got the 2 games the last couple of nights. And once again, that offense is better on the road. They had 11 runs, 17 hits. But I look for the Yankees to bounce back here. Before last night's loss, the Yankees had been in excellent current form. In fact, they put up 17 runs, and they'd done it on 31 hits. So, yes, a little bit of an off performance yesterday against Wu, but I think they bounced back here. Also, my pitcher projections favor the Yankees starters as well. I look for Seattle's lineup has hit only 9 for 41, 220 against Cortez during his career. And the Mariners start Bryce Miller, who projects to have an ERA of almost 5 in this game against the Yankees lineup. Nice setup, nice bounce back for one of the best teams in baseball off back-to-back losses. Take a look at the New York Yankees tonight at 7 Eastern, and I would lay them minus 150.
So, Seattle does have an 8-4 record in 12 previous games this year against Southpaw starters, but I want to ask you about how good the Yankees really are. Okay, they have the best record in the American League right now, the second best record in all of baseball. Only the Phillies have a better record. And yet, when you look closely at what they've done this year, they've dominated their games against the very weak AL Central Division, 11-1 in those games. And the rest of their games, they're 6 games over 500, pretty good, but not necessarily elite. How good do you think this Yankees team is? Are they going to go to the World Series? Are they the best team in the AL East? Are they the team to beat? Or are the Yankees more of a team that, today's the spot to back them, but in general, they're a little bit of an overvalued commodity and not perhaps as good as the betting markets might indicate? Talk about your thoughts on the Yankees right here.
Yeah, real quick about the lefty thing, by the way. I like to look at all left-handed stats. So lefty, starters isn't the full game, but against games in which lefties have started, Mariners have averaging just 3.7, batting just 219, which is actually weaker than their overall numbers. So I think that's maybe just some random variance on those 12 games. But as far as the AL East, I think the Orioles and Yankees are by far the premier teams in that division. The Orioles are 16-6 against winning teams. The Yankees, as you mentioned, Teddy, just 12-9 against winning teams. That makes them 21-8 against losing teams. So that is a concern. It's also a concern that the Yankees for several years now have kind of lived and died by the long ball. Teams like the Celtics, we see what happens to the Boston Celtics, the best team in the NBA, they live and die by the 3. You have some random variance. The Orioles, though, have the most home runs in baseball, so it's not like they don't strike out a lot, hit home runs as well. But I still think that Baltimore Oriole team probably is a little more solid from top to bottom. The experience factor may be a concern with the Orioles, but once again, they've been good now for several seasons. I think that's less of a concern. And another thing about the Yankees, we talked about the righty-lefty splits. And once again, this is against starters only. So it's not the full game. It's about half a game. But the Yankees are 27-11 this year against right-handed starters, 6-6 against lefties, whereas the Orioles are 17-12 and 12-4 against lefties. So the Orioles have also been more balanced. So I'd say Yankees are a wild card team. Orioles are probably the team to beat in that division.